Hello, algebra. We're going to do 12-3 day 2, and we're going to look at that. So, on the last class, we knew what our angle was, and we were looking for a side length. Today, we're going to talk about using our angles and our trig functions to find our angles and go from there. So, when I was looking at side lengths, I knew my angle, I looked at my opposite, I looked at my adjacent, I looked at my hypotenuse, whatever I knew, and whatever I knew, I used the appropriate trigonomic function. So now what happens if we don't know what our angle is? Well, we're going to have to undo this. So we need to take the inverse. What do I mean by inverse? Well, the opposite. So addition is opposite of subtraction. Multiplication is opposite of division. Squaring and square rooting are opposite of each other. So what does the opposite of a tangent look like? Well, it looks like this. Tangent of a -1 power. That is my opposite of tangent. So here's the thing. When I do this, I need to use my calculator. I need to change my calculator. And I am going to hit second tangent. Okay, before you hit second tangent, I'm sorry, you're going to change your mode of your DRG to radians. If you don't put it in radians, you're going to get a wrong answer. Okay, so you are looking at radians for length. All right, so I am going to take the inverse tangent, because that's going to cancel out my tangent, of this. Inverse tangent on both sides, because whatever I do to this side, I have to do to this side, and I'm going to put this into my calculator. So what do? First, I change my calculator radians, then I find the second button, and then I hit my tangent button, because underneath that is the tangent of -1, my second and then tangent, and then in parentheses I type in my number and I hit equals. What do you get when you do all that? Well, you should have got 63.9 which we're going to round to 64 degrees. Okay? So, important to be in radians. I'm going to hit my second button, my tangent button, enter my number, and hit my equal sign. Okay, let's look at another one. So if I have the cosine of z, and this is my decimal, what do I have to do? Well, I have to undo my cosine, so I have to take the inverse cosine, and I have to take the inverse cosine of this side, and I'm just going to enter this into my calculator the same way I just did. So, second cosine type in your decimal and hit equals. Okay? When you do that, what do you get? You get approximately 83 degrees. Yes? Well, I hope so. All right. This next example we'll do in class. Now, what if I'm not given that nice little decimal? What if? Well, if I'm given a problem like this, I still don't know what my angle is. On those first two examples that I did, we were looking for what the angle is. So let's figure out what we have. So 51 related to my angle is opposite. 55 related to my right angle is my hypotenuse. And then this here would be my adjacent side. So what am I dealing with? I'm dealing with my opposite, and I'm dealing with my hypotenuse. So it could be sine, or it could be tangent. Which one is it? Well, since I'm dealing with opposite and a hypotenuse, it is not cosine, not tangent, it is sine. So what am I going to do? I'm going to write this as sine of theta. That's how I say that. I don't know what that is, but I'm going to figure it out. Equals 51 over 55. Now, again, I have to take that inverse sine to cancel this out, and the inverse sine to find out what this is. I'm going to enter this in my calculator, and when I do that, I get approximately 68 degrees. I'm going to round to a whole number here, and that's how I'm going to do that. Right? All right. One more. I think that's all I've got. Yep. I think we're going to do that one in class. So, if you want to try and figure out what you know, sine, cosine, or tangent, and then I'll give you an assignment in class. God bless for now. We'll come back.